Good afternoon. We are coming to you live from Wespath's headquarters in Glenview, Illinois, in our Wesley Town Hall area that we really have transformed into a studio. It is in this great room that we have reminders of our core values: mutual respect, integrity, customer satisfaction. Welcome to Live from Wespath, our world, the church world, and your world. 3 live newscasts with content relevant to you, our United Methodist Church clergy. With me is my co-anchor, Peter Hang. I'm Bob Christoffel, Manager of Benefits Education and anchor for this broadcast.
Hey Bob, good to be with you as your co-anchor. And for you attending this live or recorded, we had over 800 people register for Live from Wespath, so we know that there's great interest in the content we're going to provide. And then we hope by attending this that you'll walk away with a greater knowledge of both your retirement and health insurance benefits that we administer here at Wespath as we live into our mission of caring for those who serve.
Just a few housekeeping items before we start your world. The platform we're using is interactive, and we encourage you to ask questions as we go through this material. You'll notice in the upper right-hand corner of your screen there's an orange arrow. Just click on that. It'll expand to a question box. We have content managers here monitoring the question box. If you are having any technical issues, we also do have some technical support for those audio or video issues. We got a lot of questions in the registration process, and our goal is to answer a lot of these questions during the broadcast, but also submit your questions. We're going to provide you with a recording link when the broadcast is over, but we also want to point you to additional resources so you can expand your knowledge on these topics. And please, if I could ask you, complete a follow-up survey. Let us know how you like this broadcast and what we can do as we craft future Wespath UMC clergy events going forward.
You know, Bob, in our next segment, which is focusing on your world, we're going to take a deeper look into the complex and ever-changing world of healthcare. And so we're going to share some breaking news of the updated findings from the recent 2022 Clergy Well-Being survey. Kelly Whittick and Jody Banaka are our first presenters, and they're going to share with us information here. Kelly, Jody, what can you share with us?
Bob, Peter, thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, health and well-being is just one piece of what we do here at Wespath, but I happen to be part of a team that thinks it's a pretty important piece. So we feel pretty passionate about it. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to be here with you today to share some topics that we think are of interest to you. So let's start with a discussion on the Clergy Well-Being Survey. This is actually the 2023 Clergy Well-Being Survey, very hot off the press. And this is relevant to all UMC clergy, regardless of whether you're in our health plan or one of our well-being programs. So I want to introduce Jody Banaka. Jody's our well-being manager here at Wespath. Jody, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, so great to be here with all of you virtually today.
So Jody, for our viewers who are not familiar with our Clergy Well-Being Survey, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, Wespath conducts a biannual survey that tracks clergy well-being over time, so we can better understand the state of clergy well-being to assure that we're offering programs and resources that are tailored to their specific needs. Ultimately, it is our goal and mission to care for those who serve and to understand how United Methodist clergy are doing as it relates to their overall well-being across all 5 dimensions. So physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, and social. And we know that when clergy aren't feeling their best, it not only affects how they're feeling, but it also impacts their family, their congregation, and their community surrounding them. So through the survey results, we're able to take a little bit more of a deeper dive into each of the 5 dimensions and determine which areas need special attention.
Okay, great. Well, Jody, can you tell us what is the state of clergy well-being in 2023?
Yeah, so 2023 is showing us a little bit of a better story compared to 2021 with some areas of improvement. However, clergy well-being does continue to be an immense challenge. Not only are we seeing that self-reported overall well-being has consistently declined really for over the past decade, but we're also seeing that the pandemic greatly impacted emotional and social well-being, which is really no surprise with almost 2.5 years of kind of being isolated from being in person with everyone.
Yeah, and all those additional pressures of trying to keep a church going during that time period.
Yeah, absolutely. So for today, I'll be sharing just a brief highlight of each of the 5 dimensions so you can get an idea of where we're at. And then we will release a more detailed report early this summer that will provide a little bit more data than what I'm showing today, but you'll be able to get an idea of where we're at for each of those 5 dimensions. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of those. I thought I would start on a more positive note with spiritual well-being. So for spiritual well-being, we are seeing improvement in spiritual vitality in the ministry, returning to pre-pandemic levels, as well as spiritual vitality in daily life taking a positive turn from 2021. We also saw that 5 of the 12 spiritual well-being measures improved, with 2 returning to pre-pandemic levels, which included having a reason to live and life lacking meaning for purpose, which really are 2 very important measures for, spiritual well-being and emotional well-being as well. As far as the other measures go, again, we'll release those in our full report that you guys will have access to early this spring, so more details on that to come.
Well, that's a hopeful thing to start with. I'm certainly feeling like your life is purposeful, can have an impact in multiple dimensions, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking a look at physical well-being, we are seeing obesity and diabetes and hypertension continuing to be on the rise, with these ongoing measures continuing to be worse than the national benchmarks. So unfortunately, really no improvement to report there.
Okay, and I know that physical well-being is an area we've really struggled with clergy for a very long time, as long as we've been taking this survey and then before that. And we know that BMI isn't necessarily everybody's favorite metric of physical well-being. It's still considered a good one for the population, maybe less so for individuals. And when we see it tied with diabetes and hypertension, which are exactly the things that we sort of worry about with a higher than average BMI, we're definitely continuing to need resources in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And we at Wespath here, our team is always, keeping up with the latest research to assure that we're using all the best measurements to determine, where risk is at. So,
great.
Yeah, thank you. As for emotional well-being, stress and depressive symptoms are still a serious problem. Depression has improved from its 2021 peak, but 35% are still feeling some functional difficulties from those depressive symptoms, which is significantly worse compared to pre-pandemic years. We're also seeing that most measures of perceived stress remain at 2021 levels, which really weren't all that great back in 2021. So we would have preferred to have seen those move in a more positive direction. And then just to circle back on the decrease in depression, although we're seeing some improvement, we are seeing that depression is still high compared to pre-pandemic years, and it continues to be high compared to those national benchmarks. So although we're seeing a little bit of a glimmer of hope there, I wouldn't say we are out of the woods by any means as far as emotional well-being goes.
So I know that Wespath focused a lot on emotional well-being in 2021 because we saw that steep drop. Good news that it's not declined further, but that wasn't really a great place to be, so not great news. So I suspect we'll continue to focus on that area.
Absolutely. 2023 and beyond, we'll continue to focus on emotional well-being. Yep. For social well-being, that continues to be impacted. We're seeing that social connection is significantly worse than 2021, with a continued decline in clergy feeling understood by their family and friends. And as I also mentioned, we know that area was also greatly impacted by the pandemic, along with emotional well-being. So, which really is just makes me sad to hear, right? If you're not feeling understood by your friends and family,
the people who care about you the most,
right? It's a sad place to be. So, social well-being will also be a focus of ours.
And definitely that seems like something that would influence other areas of well-being, right? Like if you've got stressors in other areas and you don't have somebody who really understands how that feels, how do you work toward and resolve that?
Right, and especially if you're not getting, the support from your family and friends and they're not understanding where you're at. Yeah, that can certainly trickle into all aspects of those 5 dimensions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Last but not least, taking a look at financial well-being. After a brief improvement in 2021, financial stress has returned to pre-pandemic levels, with more clergy feeling stressed about their financial situation, and unfortunately less clergy feeling confident about being on track for their retirement. So I wish I had better news on that one as well.
Yeah,
we
me
had a
too.
brief moment of improvement back in 2021, and we are seeing some regression in that area as well.
Well, and certainly now is a time where the economy is challenging. I know that some of the folks, in our investment segment addressed that earlier today. I think that the fact that when somebody's experiencing financial stress, it can really impact your ability to intervene on improving your physical well-being or intervene on improving your emotional well-being. And so that can really have a trickle-down effect as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, now I know Wespath can't single-handedly change the course of clergy well-being, though we really wish we could. But can you talk a little bit about what Wespath has been doing to try to move things in a positive direction?
Yeah, so we've done quite a bit in the past 2 years, as we mentioned. We've had a big focus on emotional well-being, and we'll continue to in 2023 and in the years to come. We did launch quite a big project last year. We hosted a 2-part live webinar series on first aid for mental health, and saw almost 4,000 people in attendance.
Wow.
Between those 2 webinars. So really a great turnout with that. And those webinars also are still on demand, so folks can access them at any time, whether you miss those live webinars or if you want to go back and watch them and brush up on your skills. And then, of course, we encourage you to share those. Those can be shared across the church. They can be shared in your community with your family and friends. Those are accessible for everyone, which is great.
And the idea behind that was kind of not just so clergy could learn those skills, but really so the people who surround clergy could learn those skills, so that they can create a more supportive environment for clergy to
Right.
work in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a great point. And then soon after we had those webinars, we actually kicked off a more in-depth First Aid for Mental Health Champions training, and invited each of the conferences to select 2 champions to go through that in-depth training. We offered a couple sessions last year, and we'll continue to offer sessions this year. In fact, we've got one coming up in August, and then one in the fall in October.
Great.
So if there are folks that are interested or passionate about becoming a First Aid for Mental Health champion, certainly let your conference know. They can communicate that with me, and we can get you signed up for that training session. So,
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, so in addition, to those projects, we of course also have a very robust suite of HealthFlex well-being programs, and have done a lot of work to make enhancements to assure that there's something for everyone, no matter where they are in their wellness journey. We've specifically done work to add more virtual mental health care options, which was incredibly beneficial during the pandemic, and we know that those programs will continue to be utilized even beyond the pandemic, knowing that
Yeah,
we can see
definitely.
in person. It really creates a level of convenience to have those virtual options available. And then we also launched a diabetes management program through Omada, who also runs our diabetes prevention and chronic disease prevention program, and we've seen a lot of great success with that. So we expect to see the same for the diabetes management program.
And some of the people who've talked about going through those programs with Omada have just had wonderful things to say about the impact that they've had on them personally.
Yeah, we've seen so many great success stories, and Wespath, we love to share those success stories because we know they're inspiring for
Yeah,
others.
definitely.
So we'll continue to share those stories as folks share them with us.
Well, fantastic. Jody, thank you so much for your time and
thank you.
expertise here today. We really appreciate being able to share this sneak peek of the 2023 Clergy Well-Being Survey results. Like Jody said, we'll be releasing them in full later this summer, so be on the lookout for those. And, I hope that you'll all continue to help us and partner with us and partner with your annual conferences to find ways to continue to make a positive impact on clergy well-being. All right, well, I'm going to switch directions a little bit. So we're going to talk about wellness credits. Wellness credits and the incentives for wellness credits, that's money, monetary incentives, are part of our Health Flex plan. And we've had these for a while now, $150 a year for covered participants and spouses. And so I'd like to turn it over to Todd Creviston. Todd is our health promotion manager and benefit educator here at Wespath. And he's going to share some details about how you can make sure that you get your 150 wellness credits and that you get your $150 in Pulse Cash. Todd?
Thank you, Kelly. Let's begin by explaining what wellness credits are. So wellness credits are earned by completing a variety of activities that are designed to improve your overall well-being across 5 dimensions. That includes physical, emotional, spiritual, social, and financial. You might already be earning wellness credits and not realizing it. You can check your wellness credit balance or view the many ways to earn the wellness credits by opening your Virgin Pulse app and clicking on the title Rewards. Now that you're on the Rewards page, just scroll down to view the many ways to earn. Wellness credit activities include logging into Benefits Access to check your retirement account balances, to completing a journey step, and lots of activities in between. To view your wellness credit balance, while you're on the reward page, just click the title My Earnings. The wellness credit balance is then in the middle of that screen. How are wellness credits different than Pulse points that you earn? Well, wellness credits can be earned throughout the calendar year from January 1 through December 31st. How do you earn those wellness credits? Well, let's open the Virgin Pulse app and take a look. So open your Virgin Pulse app and then click on the reward title in the upper left-hand corner. Now, across the top, it'll say Rewards, and you can scroll through all of the different ways to earn wellness credits. So the first thing you see is Complete Health Check. So if you complete Health Check, you'll earn 35 wellness credits. If you complete the Health Check from January 1 through August 31st, you'll also avoid the higher deductible for 2024. If your spouse is also covered by Health Flex, your spouse needs to complete a complete health check in that same window. And then as we scroll down, you'll see improved blood pressure, improved body mass index, ideal blood pressure, ideal body mass index. So you can earn wellness credits by your test results from Blueprint for Wellness. There's 7 tests that you can earn 20 points each if that result was improved from last year's screening, or if this year's screening result lands in the desired range that's defined by the American Heart Association. So you can, if all of them have been improved, or if all of them land in the ideal, then you can earn 140 wellness credits. So you're just on the doorstep of completing that activity. Next, you could scroll down and see completing a journey step is 5 wellness credits. Complete a journey is 15 wellness credits. I thoroughly enjoy doing the journeys, and it provides a lot of useful information. It's kind of like baby steps. So they give you something to work on. You can read, you can ruminate on it, and then put that into play, and you're earning wellness credits along the way. Then a couple other items: adopt a new spiritual practice for a month. You could see the ones that I've completed have the green check mark to the left of them. I increased my UMPIP contribution this last March. I learned that I was getting a raise. So every year that I get a raise, I have an agreement with my wife that we increase our respective percentage of contribution percentage to our plans. Registering or logging in to Benefits Access, 25 wellness credits. You can also update a beneficiary, which I did here. My daughter moved, so I updated her address. That's a big ticket item, 25 wellness credits for updating a beneficiary, and that's something that we need to do anyway. And then accessing the EAP for emotional counseling, accessing the EAP for work-life services. These are also self-report. you can rest assured that we don't know what you're talking about with the counselor. We just know the number of people that are using it because we want to make sure that these programs are useful and they're valuable. So we keep track of the percentage of individuals using it, but we don't know why. And then Omada Health Participation, that's a wonderful program. It's designed to help folks with diabetes, prevent heart disease, and even there's a weight loss focus to it as well. So lots of great ways to earn wellness credits. We hope that as you scroll through this list, you'll find a couple that are interesting to you and engage in them. And I hope that as you scroll through that list, you'll find a couple that you've completed already and you didn't realize it. So you might be asking yourself, why should I earn them? Well, the first thing is you can earn $150 in Pulse Cash. And who doesn't need a little extra bit of spending money? You can also save that Pulse Cash for a larger item. Several weeks ago, I met a participant who showed me the Apple Watch that he purchased with his Pulse Cash. Pulse Cash doesn't expire, so you can save it for a larger item. You can also donate your Pulse Cash to a charity. Over the years that I've worked at Wespath, my wife and I have used our Pulse Cash each year to save up for a special dinner with the family. Last summer, she let me buy a new barbecue. Thank you, honey. We've also purchased a laptop and a new refrigerator over the years. Wellness credits are also designed to improve or maintain your health in a fun, non-competitive way. My wife and I do have a friendly competition, though, on who can complete their wellness credits earlier than the other. That $150 in Pulse Cash is motivating. When we pool it together, that excitement more than doubles. Many of the earning opportunities involve learning a new tip or well-being habit. There's always something for everyone in the wellness program, no matter what your focus. Your best first step is to enroll in Virgin Pulse and download that app and start looking at the wellness credit earning opportunities. Now you're ready to explore the huge variety of well-being programs to help improve or maintain good health. It doesn't matter where you begin, it just matters that you get started. Consistency is the most important behavior. Consistency makes new habits part of your healthy daily routine. Thank you for watching, and back to you, Kelly.
Todd, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for those great tips on wellness credits. I know I try to make sure that I earn mine every year and that my husband does too, because I like to use that Pulse Cash to help offset our vacation budget, which never seems like it's enough. So anyway, I'd like to switch directions again, and we're going to focus on a health benefit topic, specifically on health savings accounts, or HSAs. Now, Wespath has been offering HSA plans since about 2016, and we've really seen a great migration of folks into the HSA plans. Really, more and more people each year really understand some of the benefits of the HSAs and the opportunity to save for the long term. So that's really exciting. So for this next segment, some of this may be specific to HealthFlex HSAs, but if you do have an HSA qualified plan offered through your annual conference that's not a HealthFlex plan, this could be relevant to you as well. So for this segment, I'd like to welcome Lynnae Banks. Lynnae is our Senior Benefit Plans Analyst at Wespath, and she's going to share her expertise for this discussion. So welcome, Lynnae.
Thanks, Kelly.
So tell us a little bit about health savings accounts. They're kind of unique as far as accounts go.
Absolutely. So a health savings account, or HSA if you will, is a savings account that you are able to save money on a tax advantage basis or tax-free basis, and it's designated by the IRS. Okay. And you can use these funds or the savings account for qualified medical expenses. Okay. And then to be eligible for an HSA, you must be enrolled in a high deductible health plan, or through Wespath or HealthFlex, if you will, one of the HSA accounts that we offer, or HSA plans, I should say, we offer. Also, you can contribute to this plan, but only as a primary participant, or your employer can contribute on your behalf. So one of the benefits of the HSA is that you can carry over funds from year to year. And they're often used to save for like future healthcare expenses in a tax advantage way. So again, you have that opportunity to save money pre-tax by putting this money aside. If you have any upcoming healthcare expenses that are going to kind of break the bank, if you will, you can kind of prepare for it with using your health savings account. So for the current year, you must use your HSA for medical expenses for this year. And then please note for 2023, the annual limit for HSA is $3,850 for primary participants, or single participants, I should say. And then for family, it's $7,750.
Okay, and I actually just saw, you may not have seen this yet, but the IRS just released some increases, some significant increases to the numbers for 2024. So that will be nice, and we'll certainly publish that as we have more information about that.
Absolutely. Usually later to come. It's like June or something like that. So hopefully we'll be seeing that amount soon so we can prepare for 2024.
Great, and I see that we have some information about what plans that HealthFlex offers that allow people to contribute to HSAs.
Yes, so we have the H1500, H2000, and H3000.
Okay, well, great. So I've heard the word triple tax, I guess the words, triple tax advantage when we talk about HSAs. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this triple tax advantage is?
Absolutely. So, and thank you for bringing that up. Triple tax advantage, again, as you mentioned, there are three different ways that you can maximize your maximize having lower taxes by using one of these tax advantages from your when you're contributing to an HSA.
Okay.
So for instance, tax-free contributions is one. So when you're contributing to an HSA, the money is deposited on a pre-tax basis, and that allows you to reduce your taxable income and lower your overall tax bill for the year. And that provides significant savings for you, especially if you're contributing the maximum amount every year.
Okay.
So a lot of people, especially if you are single, no dependents, this is definitely a good way to save money by contributing to maximizing your HSA savings.
Okay.
The second one is tax-free growth in an HSA. So many HSA accounts offer investment options, which will allow you to grow your account balance over time. So HSA accounts often have an annual fee, and those funds can be rolled over from year to year. So in short, having an HSA is a valuable tool for managing your health expenses both now and then in the future.
Okay, and how does it work in the future? Do you still have a tax advantage if you take them out in the future?
Only if you're using it for qualified health expenses.
Okay.
And I'll speak a little bit more about that in speaking about the retirement. So
Okay, that sounds good. So the triple tax advantage is I get to put my money in there without paying taxes on it, and then I get to invest it or earn dividends or something on it, and that grows, and I don't have to pay taxes on those. And then as long as I take it out and use it for a qualified medical expense, I don't pay taxes on the way out either.
Right. So for tax-free distributions from an HSA, you can take that money out tax-free to pay for your qualified medical expenses. So for instance, the IRS defines qualified medical expenses are those expenses that are primarily used for the prevention or alleviation for a physical or mental defect or illness. So for instance, your doctor visits, prescription drug medications, and then medical equipment. And then also just keep in mind, when you're using HSA and you're using these expenses, keep accurate tax records of your medical expenses, because you may have to consult with a tax professional, especially around tax time, and you want to document what you spent those HSA funds on to make sure you're not penalized.
Because you want to make sure if you've spent it on qualified expenses that you're not being taxed on that money.
Exactly.
On the way out. Triple tax advantage, folks. Triple tax advantage.
Exactly. And then just if you were alluding to before with HSA in retirement, you also can use it to pay for Medicare and Medicare supplement premiums on a tax-free basis.
Okay.
Also, you're able to use it for long-term care expenses and regular medical expenses such as your doctor visits, co-pays, things like that. And those also can be used on a tax-free basis.
Okay.
There's one caveat when contributing to an HSA or in retirement when you're using those funds, I should say. Let's say you have this dream purchase, you want to buy a boat.
The boat. Everyone wants to buy the boat.
Everybody wants to buy a boat. Go fishing, enjoy your retirement,
Yep.
you know, just the laid back
I'll
life,
read a
right?
book. I don't like to fish.
I don't either. But, you know, just in case, if, you know, you have this dream purchase, you want to buy a boat, you can use those funds from your HSA to purchase a boat. However, note that even though you're retired and you can use those funds, but this is a non-qualified medical expense, so you do have to pay taxes
Okay.
on those funds.
So no penalty after 65, after
Right.
retirement. You can use it for non-qualified expenses, but then it's taxable. So you don't get the triple tax advantage, you only get the double tax advantage.
Exactly.
Well, and the truth is most people have health expenses in retirement. If they don't, they're pretty darn lucky. And so if you just go ahead and use your HSA funds for those health expenses, you can go ahead and keep that triple tax advantage.
Exactly.
Great. So if you had one piece of advice, Lenier, to share with our clergy who are out there watching today, who are in an HSA plan, what one piece of advice would you share with them?
You know, I would say to try to contribute more to your HSA in the years when you're going to have lower utilization, so you can roll over and invest those funds from year to year, and helps you to grow your account balance and have those extra funds for retirement purposes. And then make a goal to move at least $500 to $1,000 or more a year into the investment accounts, and don't touch that money until you hit retirement age.
Okay.
Just keep in mind, if you do decide to do this, the minimum to contribute to start that savings account is $1,000.
So for HealthFlex HSAs, they have to have at least $1,000 that they're going to move into the investment account in order to be able to take advantage of that service.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I have an example that I wanted to share specifically for someone that's starting to contribute to an HSA at 40 years of age. Let's say you start contributing $1,000 per year starting at age 40, and then when you get to age 65, you would have $25,000. But if you're investing that $25,000 could actually grow into $50,000. So just keep in mind that you have these options when you're investing into an HSA. And again, this is only just an example.
Right, no
but-
guarantees, no
Right, no
guarantees.
guarantees. So if you want to find out more information specific to your own situation, I would suggest participants reach out and speak to a tax professional.
Or EY, a great service
Oh
for
yes,
them.
absolutely,
Yep.
and we offer EY. So
Yep.
yes, definitely.
Well, that's great. And I mean, I think the message for health savings accounts is similar to what we see on the United Methodist Personal Investment Plan side, which is start early,
Yes.
right? If you can contribute a little bit extra early, that is your best potential to see the most growth.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you a little secret. I have, since I've been enrolled in an HSA, I have tried that tip of yours, Lenier, and I've tried to earmark at least $500 or $1,000 a year, even in the bad years. But I've tried to earmark a little bit so that I can really build that. And you know, I've only been in it for 4 or 5 years, but I'm already seeing that grow. And I think, you know, I hope that as if I can keep that up, maybe when I'm 65. I'll have that nice balance to pay for my healthcare expenses.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Lenier, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your expertise with the folks out there. And I'm going to go back to Bob and Peter for a minute before we go to the next section.
Thank you, Kelly, Jody, Todd, and Lenier. Really such important topics in your world. We've seen a lot of interest. Some people just thanking us for having HealthFlex. How do I get in HealthFlex? Some people just saying, I love to get my steps, me included. I try to get 12,000 every day. And just a lot of buzz about that health savings accounts being potentially triple income tax advantage. I'm just thinking out loud, a reminder, you know, we've added to Benefit Access your HSA information. So if you've never registered for Benefit Access, good time to do it. It's been updated with that information. And also kind of a public service announcement, every November we have an open annual enrollment period where you can change among the different HealthFlex plans and maybe consider a HSA, high deductible aligned plan. So let's get back, and this last segment is real exciting. We're going to take an exclusive look at the upcoming new care coordination service. Back to Kelly.
Thank you so much, Bob and Peter. This really has been fantastic. I hope you've all enjoyed learning about these health and well-being topics as much as we've enjoyed sharing them. For our final discussion, as Bob said, we are going to give you a sneak peek of a new service that Wespath is offering for all of our HealthFlex plans in 2024. So we all know the healthcare system can be challenging, in fact, confusing, frustrating, at times demoralizing and demeaning. When you're at your you're most vulnerable and you're got a new diagnosis or need a new a surgery of sorts, that's when you're asked to learn a new language, basically, you know, navigate a system that you're not familiar with, and it can be really confusing. So at Wespath, we've been feeling this too, and we've been exploring for some time a way that we might be able to alleviate some of this confusion and frustration for our participants and their families in HealthFlex. And so today, I'd like to invite Nikki Landing. Nikki is our vendor relations manager for HealthFlex. Yep. And Nikki works with what we call escalated issues.
Yes.
So she gets firsthand knowledge of some of these challenging situations when real participants, you out there, are dealing with the healthcare system and trying to figure out your health benefits and it's not going well. So she's going to share a little bit about that today. Can you tell us a little bit about what those escalated issues look like, Nikki?
Well, as you mentioned, the healthcare system is a very disconnected, disjointed system. So we have siloed providers, no cost transparency, claim and pre-authorization denials. So there's a frustration where you don't know you're in trouble until you have trouble. And I have worked with escalations, and one in particular worked with a participant for 2 years that had a cancer diagnosis. And what I had to do was coordinate with carriers, the medical carrier, the pharmacy carrier, even conversations with the member. And it is, as you say, just demoralizing because they're caught in this web of red tape, of not understanding what it is that they are reading or understanding about their diagnosis. Also, the issue of the providers not submitting claim information correctly. So it's just kind of like this hodgepodge where the member is caught in the middle and needs to navigate their own health care.
And I bet a lot of folks out there can relate to that, either for themselves or a family member, where you are dealing with the healthcare system and something is denied, you don't understand why,
Right.
And you're not really sure what to do. You know, your provider says they submitted this, the Blue Cross says nope, they never got it, and so here you
Right.
are in this circle, and all you want to do is get better.
Right. Medical carrier, oh, that goes to the pharmacy
Right.
vendor, and
Run
pharmacy
around.
vendor, no, that goes to. So it is just like this hamster wheel, and unfortunately, that's the system that we have in the U.S.
Yeah.
And all of us at some point, yourself and I included,
Yeah.
or family members will interact with that system.
Yep. All right. So, exciting. Wespath is partnering with
Yes.
Quantum Health in
Yes.
2024, and Quantum Health will provide care coordinators to Wespath participants, to folks in HealthFlex. And Nikki, can you tell us, what is this? What is care coordinations?
Well, care coordination is a dedicated and personal team made up of care nurses, benefit advisors, claims specialists. All of these folks kind of make up a team to be able to coordinate your care and take the member out of the middle of the issue. So that way they can feel a lot better not having to play the shell game on their own and have this team of dedicated specialists
Okay.
of care coordination to work with their providers. They will work with authorizations and claim issues, and Also making sure that there is some connectivity between the different providers. You might have different doctors or a team of doctors. You want to make sure that everyone is speaking the same language, and then also communicating that back to our participants. So it's very important for them, for the care coordinators, to meet the participant where they are in their care journey. And that is very exciting because unfortunately that's not how our system works, but now we have someone advocating for us.
That is incredible. I cannot tell you the number of times that I could have used something like that when a family member or I was kind of going through the healthcare system. So that's pretty exciting. I know we have a video that we want to cut to, and we want to share what we call some fan mail to the care coordinators. So real situations where people are able to share how the care coordinator was able to help them navigate the healthcare system. So we'll go to that video now.
I went to the doctor for a medical test I thought would cost me nothing out of pocket. Then I got a bill for $4,500. I wasn't sure what had happened, but I knew I couldn't afford that bill. I called Quantum, and Alana was kind and patient with me. She told me she would look into it and find a way to help. She sure did. She figured out the problem and got the whole bill erased. I was worried sick for days, and Alana took care of everything in just a couple of hours. What a wonderful young woman and a wonderful service you all provide. Thank you. You are above and beyond. From Doris.
I started my cancer journey 6 months ago. My care coordinator, Michael, has been there the whole time. He's very helpful in answering my emails, getting procedures approved, and always having kind and supportive words for me. I don't know how people do this alone. Thank goodness I don't have to. Michael truly is a godsend, above and beyond in every way. From Mike. Wow.
Well, wow. I've seen that video a couple of times now and listened to those stories, and they still hit me right here.
Yes.
It's incredible, and it's exactly what Wespath wants to be able to offer. That's exactly the experience that I want every single one of our HealthFlex participants to have every single time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So, Nikki, I'm sure that some of our clergy audience members are wondering, health benefits are already kind of expensive, maybe more than kind of expensive. Is this just going to make premiums even higher?
Actually, no.
Oh.
The implementation of this service has actually made the 2024 rates a little lower than what they would have been had we not implemented the service. So it is a win-win in my opinion, where it's not just about the plan, but it's kind of a shared goal.
Okay, so we can
between the plan and then also our participants as
So
well.
we can offer better service to people and potentially save money. Is that because they're able to be a little bit more efficient? They're able to drive more
Yes.
efficient care?
Yeah, you're able to drive more efficiencies, remove some of the waste out of the system, and get more coordination and connectivity between providers, and also within networks.
Great.
So it helps.
And really, waste, extra, inefficient, unnecessary services are a huge part of why healthcare costs in the U.S. are so much more than we see in some other countries. But does this mean that care coordinators will force our members to see certain providers or get certain things, or will they still have choice and the ability to go to whoever they want?
Definitely, choice is not taken away
Good.
from the participant. You can seek whatever providers or services that you feel that you need to see. So that won't be an issue. The plan will work the same way as it works today as it's worked previously, except now you have someone to help you in understanding the plan, also understanding your care, understanding the cost to either in-network versus out-of-network, but the choice is still yours with regards to treatment and providers.
All right. Well, Nikki, this sounds fantastic. And I know that everybody at Wespath and on our team is just thrilled to be able to offer this to our HealthFlex families and participants in 2024. Tell me, Nikki, is there anything that our participants need to do right now to get ready for this change in 2024?
They can follow me in the happy dance.
I'd like to see your happy dance.
Just to get excited
Yeah.
about this service that is coming in 2024, not only for, because I feel that our participants, this is what they need.
Yes.
It's a great time to be a part of HealthFlex, no matter what plan you're in, and to be able to have this extra service that is custom and personalized just for you and your journey and your issue. So that to me is very important. So I'm excited for our participants.
I'm
too.
excited. And I hope that you're getting excited out there too, especially if you're in our HealthFlex plan. It should really improve things and make just being in the healthcare system and on the healthcare journey so much easier. So get excited. All right, that is the end of our segment. I'm going to turn it back to Bob and Peter, and they're going to let us know if we've got some questions out from the audience.
Hi, Kelly and Nikki. Thank you for that preview on the care coordination service. I'm not going to get hurt intentionally, but if I do have to use healthcare services, I know it's going to be hopefully a smoother path, and I'm also getting excited for that. One question, Kelly, is I work for an agency of the United Methodist Church, and I am a part of their health insurance plan. Can I join the Virgin Pulse program?
So if you'll need to work with your plan sponsor to determine what's available for the different employers, and not all employers and not all agency employers offer Virgin Pulse or offer HealthFlex, and so you'll want to directly, depending on which agency you're with, you'll want to talk to your HR department or your benefits department and confirm what benefits are available to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Just a lot of general comments coming in, thanking you, thanking Wespath for HealthFlex. This is a good one. It looks like clergy stress and emotional health issues continue to be a big area of concern. How are we going to move the needle on this? What can we do to improve?
Bob, that is a question and frankly a conundrum that Jody and our team have been working on. It's not something that can be done in one way. It's certainly not something that can just be fixed by programs, although Jody mentioned a number of programs that are available to folks in HealthFlex or maybe in Virgin Pulse that can help us personally address some of the emotional health concerns we have. But really we feel like this is a bigger systemic issue. When we look, being a clergy person is stressful. There are a lot of demands on clergy that folks in other professions just don't have. And so I think that it's something that we'll need to work on with leaders across the United Methodist Church, from our agency partners. Certainly Wespath is excited to participate in that conversation. Bishops, cabinets, and clergy themselves. We need to be a part of the conversation so that we can make a difference and really shape the way that the culture supports clergy and their emotional well-being.
Well, here's a question I know you've heard before, Kelly. It's a pretty common one. I have an HSA, the health savings account, and a FSA, flexible spending account. How do I know which of the two cards in my wallet or purse to use?
Well, so do I. I have a health savings account and a flexible spending account, and I will tell you that I have written in Sharpie on those cards which one is which, so my husband knows which one to use. But the purple one says health savings account on it, and that is the one that you use for your health savings account. And in the year that you're contributing to a health savings account, you're typically using that one for medical expenses, pharmacy expenses, behavioral health expenses. And then your other card, which for most people is teal, and some people still have an orange and blue one that says WageWorks. That's your flexible spending account card. So in a year that you're contributing to a health savings account, you're using that card for dental and vision expenses primarily. I suggest the Sharpie.
All right, Kelly, this next one is really two questions combined. Can I leave my HSA health savings account to children, spouses, or other beneficiaries? And the second part is, are the flexible spending accounts available on all Health Flex options during open annual enrollment?
All right, so I'm going to get the first one first. So health savings accounts, that's your money. Health savings accounts belong to you. So upon passing, you are able to designate beneficiaries for a health savings account. Make sure you do that in Health Equity, because whatever you select for your retirement account beneficiaries, that doesn't automatically carry over to Health Equity and your health savings account beneficiaries. So make sure you elect that separately. And our flexible spending accounts, which is a different type of account available with all plans in Health Flex, and the answer to that is yes. But remember, if you're contributing to an HSA, so if you're in one of those HSA plans, your flexible spending account becomes limited purpose, which means you can only use it for dental and vision expenses at the beginning of the year. And that's just because the IRS doesn't want to give you too much of a tax advantage.
Excellent. A lot of people are just really excited about the care coordination
so
service.
excited.
Yeah, but they want to know, what are you most excited about with that coming on?
You know, I think I think about our team is amazing at handling issues when they come to us. And I think that they do a really caring job of that. But what I'm excited about is not getting those phone calls, and not just because we don't want them, but because it means that people are not having those problems. They're not getting to the place when they're seeking care where they're frustrated and they're, pulling their hair out and they don't know what to do next. And I think that is what I'm most excited about, is the idea that we can avoid some of the frustration altogether when people are at their most vulnerable.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, less anxiety, right?
Yeah,
Promoting better health.
Maybe that will help move the emotional
Yeah,
well-being needle.
Yeah, I hope so. One last question. So use for medical premiums is currently allowed. I believe that's in regards to the health savings account. But proposed legislation to make it possible to contribute longer will change that, correct?
I am not going to comment on current legislation. I'm certainly not the expert on that one, Peter. But currently, you can use an HSA for, I believe, COBRA premiums, or we use continuation coverage premiums. And when you're Medicare eligible, you can use them for Medicare premiums, is what Lanier said, and Part B premiums.
Great, thank you so much. And as we mentioned earlier, if you're not sure about your health savings account, if you log into your account on Benefits Access, of course you can see your retirement benefits, but your health information is there as well. And I was telling Bob during the break that I've been in an HSA plan for a couple of years now and didn't really check on the balance, and it's bigger than I thought it was. So I got to move some over to that investing side, and hopefully a lot more years of good health so that money can roll over for someday down the road. But thank you both, Nikki and Kelly and the team, for this information. And we just want to thank you for joining us for this segment of Your World. This has been the first of its kind interactive and live event from Wespath. And we just want to take a minute now just to thank behind the scenes all the folks from our communications department, from our meeting and events department, our IT, that worked behind the scenes for months, answering questions, writing scripts, coming up with content, setting up a lot of cords and wires, as you saw from the Skycam, getting a little sneak peek behind the curtain of what goes on here. But I also want to thank my co-host, co-anchor, Bob Christophel, for helping lead this up.
Thank you, Peter. Really, this has been a great day, a great live from Wespath inaugural event. And I think what's important is that we've all really demonstrated one of our important core values of teamwork. Just so many people involved, months of planning on your behalf as we continue to live into our mission of caring for those who serve. Again, we will be contacting you with links to the recordings for the 3 segments, some additional resources, and please complete that follow-up survey. Without you, this wouldn't be possible, so thank you for your ministry and for your service.
Thank you.